And so welcome to week 2 of JOU317. Brief video to sort of overview the week for you. Yes, we have some reading as is shown in week 2. However, the reading works a little differently this time. Frankly, chapter 3 relates to this big concepts video, which is at the end of the week. That's going to be a lecture that is just based on some concepts and doesn't work directly into any exercise, but there may be some questions on a future quiz on that topic. So you could read chapter 3, but you could wait until later in the week. Chapter 5, I would say do wait until the end of the week. Chapter 5 actually is moving on to more markup stuff that we're going to be doing next week. It'd be good for you to have a run through of chapter 5 by the end of the week, so then you can review it again next week. But chapter 5 will be important for next week. So again, I'd say you could read that late in the week. But chapter 4, the material in chapter 4 is really critical for you as you continue into this coming week. In fact, you're going to be doing an exercise from chapter 4, largely directly from chapter 4 in the middle of this week. So chapter 4, keep that handy. I asked you to read it before. If you didn't, you better read it now. And you have to review it a number of times as we continue along. Lots of important material there. So this will be the first week where we do a quiz. And, you know, I've gone back and forth on quizzes. I don't like the multiple choice quiz bank kind of push the buttons quiz. But I don't, so I'm going to try to do sort of like a take-home kind of a open book kind of a quiz. And the way I'm doing it, as will be explained more thoroughly in this video. So please watch that video and then do the quiz. But let me just warn you right off the bat, the quiz, you have to do it very soon. I would like you to get the quiz has to be in by 10 p.m. on Tuesday. So plan on doing it right away. The quiz is based on material from last week. So that quiz has to be in by 10 o'clock Tuesday. So that should be one of the first things you do this week. Then as we move on, the Black Goose exercise, frankly, in a non-web semester, I wouldn't actually even be grading that because you're doing it right out of the book. But it does introduce a really important concept of the project folders and zipping folders, which you're going to be doing throughout the rest of the semester. So there's a lot of instruction there about the folder structure and zipping the folders. So that's the really important thing there. Also, the structure you develop based on the exercise from the text for this Black Goose exercise, Black Goose Bistro thing, you're going to be repeating that as you move on to cover letter 2. Cover letter 2 is taking your cover letter 1 that you wrote last week, making the additions and changes that I suggested to you in my feedback, and now turning it into HTML and CSS based on that Black Goose structure, essentially just subbing in your content with a few minor changes into that cover letter. So it's not exactly new work. It's using Black Goose over again, but it's also making your changes and using your own content then. It'll be very important you hold on to this cover letter and to the changes that you've made in it, because you will be using this cover letter and redoing it once more, at least again later on. So please hold on to the cover letter. Okay, so I guess that about rounds out the week. Oh, one additional thing that's different this week is that you have a folder down here for resources. So resources, the resource folder has in it the resources that you need for Black Goose and the resource you need for the cover letter. So that's where you'll find those things in that resource folder. Again, as usual, let me know about any questions or problems, and we'll work it out. And keep on plugging away. And thanks for keeping up with the class. And we'll continue along with week 2.